So look into the news. Today's editorial article from the Hindu talks about the Election Commission of India's new way or new approach towards the elections. So here first, the Election Commissioner of India have invited all of the parties belonging to a country India, major of the parties, to have a co-head meeting and to discuss about the consequences and future of the election. So here this gesture has been proven to be one of the welcoming gesture, because here we can address a lot of issues, especially a lot of opinions given by the opposition party leaders, and also we can bring in consensus with the current government as well as with the other parties to address a lot of the issues. So here let us see what the article discusses. So before that, this is the main practice question. Ensuring transparency is a key to making democracy successful. In this context, discuss the measures that can be taken to ensure transparency in the electoral process. So I asked the aspirants to put in their framework for this question, and also let's see a framework for it. First, we should know who has been elected as the election commissioner. So here, Shri Ganesh Kumar has been selected as the Chief Election Commissioner, as the 26th Chief Election Commissioner of India on 19th February of 2025. So the rest of the election commissioners are Dr. Sukhbir Singh Sandhu, who is also an election commissioner, and also Dr. Vivek Joshi, who is also an election commissioner. So here Sukhbir Singh Sandhu has been elected on March 2024, and Vivek Joshi has been selected on 2025. So first let's have an overview about the Election Commission of India. So we have spoken about Election Commission of India for a very long period of time in a previous video. So there I will be providing a link, so you can go and check about the Election Commission of India in detail. But here we'll just see the important facts for us to understand the article. So here Election Commission of India is one of the permanent and a constitutional body, and looking at its constitution status, it comes under the article 324 to 329. So looking into the security of the tenure of its members, here the Chief Election Commissioner of the body can be removed by the impeachment, such as by the Supreme Court judge, and rest of the members, that is the two election commissioners of India, can be removed by the Chief Election Commission. So here the ECI, that is the Election Commission of India, comprises of 3 members. So here it comprises of 1 Chief Election Commissioner and it comprises of 2 election commissioners. Now looking into their financial independence, here they are taking expenses from the consolidated fund of India, and thus free from the executive control. Now looking into the powers and authority, so we all know they are one of the main bodies and permanent bodies to supervises the elections, implements the model code of conduct, which is a general code of conduct for conducting the elections in a fair and free manner, and it can disqualify the candidates. So these are the powers and authority of Election Commission of India. Now I hope that there has been an overview about the Election Commission of India. So now let's move on to the article. So here, as I told before, the new Chief Election Commission of India has been inviting a lot of leaders of the parties to have a consensus and have discussion on the various issues related to the elections and bringing in solutions. So we need to know what are the benefits of this move first. First, it ultimately strengthening the electoral process. Here, it brings in refining of the election policies and management. Thus, there is timely management of the election policies, and at the same time, we can check if the certain bodies are adhering the policies of elections, and also there is timely response to the people. Next, finally, restoring trust and credibility. Here it brings openness to criticisms, and it also reduces distrust and counter bias allegations. So I asked the aspirants to give a read about the article. There they would have discussed what all of the issues been discussed and the challenges or criticisms being discussed, which we will also be seeing later. Next is addressing legitimate concerns. So here it's ensuring fair and free and transparent and effective solutions. Next, enhancing transparency and accountability. Thus, it improves the decision making process and it prevents misinformation through different kinds of media. Next, promoting a level playing field. So, level playing field, we all know that to ensure free and fair playing, so it everyone are accountable, thus ensuring equitable elections for all parties and there's no bias. And finally, adhering to the core principle of our country India, which is strengthening the democracy. So it brings in confidence to having free and fair elections for the people, as it's for the people and by the people ultimately. Now, first let us see few major reforms which has been happening since the independence on the Election Commission of India. So, first is the introduction of the electoral photo ID. So, electoral photo identification card. It was first it was first introduced in 1961 and it was implemented in 1993. So, it is similar to the voter ID. Next is lowering of the voting age in 1989 from 21 to 18. Next is becoming a multi-member ECA. So first it was a single member organization, but in 1990 it was changed to a multi-member multi-member committee, and then it was implemented in 1993. So since 1993 it has been as a multi-member committee. Next is introduction of the electronic voting machines, which was happened in the year 1998. And next is introduction of the voter verifiable paper audit trail system, VVPAT. First it was introduced in 2003 and it was implemented in 2019. Next major reform is the introduction of the nota, that is the none of the above, in the year 2010. Next, Aadhaar voter ID has been made to the linking of the election process in the year of 2017 and having in multiple registration dates, that is for uh, voter registration introduction, which has happened in 2021. Also in 2016 there were introduction of the electoral reforms by the ECI. So there they brought in on a digital voting platform for the service voters, then having separate ballots for disabled people and for women, and there have been lot of introduction and changes in the 2016 electoral reforms. So I think this has been, this has been asked as a mains question in the year of 2017. So to enhance the quality of democracy in India, the Election Commission of India has proposed electoral reforms in 2016. What are the suggested reforms and how far are they significant to make democracy successful? So this has been a question in the year of 2017. And also in 2018 there was a question on the electronic voting machines, that is, in the light of the recent controversy regarding the use of electronic voting machines, what are the challenges before the Election Commission of India to ensure the trustworthiness of the elections in India? So these are the main question which has been answered, so we can know how important Election Commission of India is as a whole. Now let us see the major challenges which is being discussed in the article. First is having political pressure and autonomy concerns. So there has been biases been delivered by the different governing parties on the elections, and thus it brings down the democracy. Next is having money and muscle power in elections, that is having black money, then corruption money, and also involvement of criminals in the election process. So next issue can be electronic voting machine trust issues, as we have seen whether the votes are verifiable. Next is the having hate speech and polarization, such as bringing in communal riots as well as having caste based biases. Next is model code of conduct violations. So here there has been mistrust on whether the MCC guidelines has been followed properly during the elections. Next is the involvement of fake news and misinformation. So having fake news through the social media and having deep fake creation can adhere the election process to run smoothly. Next is the voter apathy and urban disengagement. So there have been lower turnouts of votes in the urban areas, especially in spite of many awareness campaigns. And next is having election expenditure monitoring. So there has been mistrust on whether the given funded money is being transferred into a fair and free elections process. So these are the challenges discussed, and now let's look a way forward for it. So one of the way forward is the article in itself, there has been a gesture to bring in different parties to have a meeting to discuss about the consequences. So that we can take as one of the way forward to overlook these challenges. Next is strengthening the ECS autonomy. Next is bringing in curbing money and muscle power. So there is here inclusion of legal and political policies. Next is enhancing the EVMs and the VVPAT transparency. So here it brings in the usage of the 100% of the VVPAT. Next is having stricter action against the hate speech. So there needs to be legal and political reforms and policy reforms for such actions, and having stronger MCC implementation. So next is finally countering the fake news through having the fact check mechanism in the social media. So there is countering of the fake news.